Gave up trying to Scooby it out, cause my Scoob got lost along the way. Worn out from giving it up, my do, I pissed it all away. Still snack these shattered nerves. Scoobs get what Scoobs deserve. I'm going all the way down and zoinksing today.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today you're zoinking out with two of your favorite jabronis from the Mystery Machine.
White Boy All-Star Hall of Fame. You say your name.
Eric.
And Alex. Your name's gotta come first, because you're older, and also I think it sounds better.
It's called seniority, and that's what rules in the Mystery Machine.
Is it now?
Yeah, probably.
All the Scooby-Doo Gang, like, they're all kind of loaded. Like, all their parents are kind of rich, except for Velma.
They live in a van, are you sure?
Yeah, but it's like they get to live in a van. They don't have to.
Oh my god. They are the, like, 60s, 70s version of the van life kids who are, like, very rich.
The original Nomadland.
They kind of project this bohemian persona, but they're just rich kids. How could they afford a van?
Yeah, it's all free love, man. And
where do you think all the money for those 2-foot-long sub sandwiches come from?
You think they're getting paid from solving this?
And Shaggy and Scooby are getting the boar's head too.
Excuse me? They're getting head from a boar?
Exactly. They aren't getting the public spraying meat.
Oh no, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, they're getting that like top shelf. Only comes with 4 slices in a package.
Exactly.
Smoked top wop booba.
Oh yeah, that good gabagool that comes in a mahogany case. Gabagool. It comes in a little velvet pillow, and you would be able to pick it up with tweezers.
You have to click. It's like a mahogany single hewn box, like hewn from a single tree. And you click open the sides, and it
exactly.
Open and a bunch of CO2 spills out.
An artisan was taking a gouge to it and manually shaping it.
For sure, gouge.
There wasn't a CNC machine involved at all. It's just it's a guy with thick hands, and he's putting his little toy appraiser from Toy Story 2 glasses on.
You can't rush art. What do you think is the most Scooby-Doo meal you've ever had?
Sub sandwich is pretty up there. We used to eat those Scooby-Doo brand snacks. So that, by definition.
No. That's against the spirit of the question, though. I mean, a god-awful concoction that you ate. I mean, that's mostly me, but you've got to have one, right?
Some awful concoctions? I don't know.
You ever do a peanut butter burger back when you were still a meat eater?
No, I don't think I did.
Oh, you're missing out.
I think I just had more sad bachelor foods. I would make 15 burritos at once. So I don't know if that counts. And meal prep.
That doesn't.
Yeah,
count.
That doesn't really count.
Well, it would count if you ate them all in one sitting.
Yeah. No, I nenever put them all in a conveyor belt and ate them one by one, and watched my cheeks get big like a chipmunk. And then gulped all of them at once. No, I never did that. Okay, my good friend that you'll know well, he is a very Scooby-Doo eater. I remember I would come home to our shared house during school. Our home that we made together, and there would literally be a pile of pork schnitzel on the counter.
Oh, that sounds like heaven.
And then you just eat all of it in one go.
I'm not gonna lie, if I came home and my roomie had made pork schnitzel laid out, things would get gay real fast.
He's not even getting his rent. He's not getting his rent paid for it. He's eating all the pork schnitzel. He's just doing it for the love of the game.
I have to apologize. I wasn't familiar with your game.
You should have known. You should have known by the size of the schnitzel. The game's real.
Well, in case it wasn't obvious, I could see how you would think that. We're very on brand in October this week with with a spooky-themed episode featuring America's favorite Scoobert-Doobert-Doo.
Scoobert R. Doobert.
Gang of ruffians.
International terrorist. On the no-fly list.
On a quest, yeah. So, you want to walk us through what we're thinking about today?
Yes. So the hypothetical today is our intrepid adventures from Scooby-Doo, the classic Scooby-Doo. None of this new...
The classic.
None of these remakes. That old Hanna-Barbera stuff where, the intro has all the bats. You know what I'm talking about. Those guys in the meta commentary horror movie, Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods, 2015, I want to say it came out. Am I right?
I trust you.
I'm going to say 2015. And I'm sticking to it. Yeah, Cabin in the Woods, man, I like that movie.
I like it too.
It's such an easy horror movie to show people, like, even if they're generally not into the genre.
It's almost a comedy.
It really is more of a comedy than anything.
Except for, like, the ending. Spoilers. Also, spoilers for Scooby-Doo, the 1970s version. If you didn't watch the 1970s cartoon.
Of 1970s Scooby-Doo, we're gonna be getting into the weeds, okay? We're gonna be getting into it. You don't want to hear about the conception of Scrappy, or
Scrappy's lineage,
or Shaggy's secret girlfriend Googie. You ever hear?
No, I did not. That is a name for a type of architecture which you did not know about in an earlier episode.
When we made the Dutch oven joke about the German houses, they're called Googies.
No, Googie is like that 50s style of architecture where it's like roadside attractions. The classic Googie building is like the big donut boy.
Oh.
Like in Wayne's World where there's that gigantic...
The diner from Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, Googie.
Or really the whole town in Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Well, that's
Alex...
Scooby-Doo, because they're always going to a roadside... They're always on the road,
Yeah, they're on the road. Can I hit you with one more piece of trivia, Alex?
Please. Hit me upside the head with it as hard as you can.
Okay, I'm winding up. Do you know why they call it...
Concussion.
Do you know why they call it a diner?
Because you dine inside of it, I would guess.
They were originally diner cars. And the way why they have that long shape is they just have a diner car from a train that they just put on a little plot of land. And so, you'd have your bar that, on the train you would walk past in the booths. All from the train.
Just like it's Snowpiercer.
Exactly.
Once again, trains prove to be the
I wish we lived with trains, man.
Form of transportation.
Do you remember our Amtrak days during our Mormon mission adventures?
Mormon mission adventures where we would knock on doors and give homeless people little cups of gruel to enjoy. Those were the days. I've been meaning to take a train. I wanted to do that for my birthday this year, but
I've had some very surreal experiences on the Amtrak.
Oh yeah, you told me about the why don't you regale them with
my goodness, yeah.
Quiet time story.
So I was going from Albany, New York
the heavy breathing. Yeah.
To Cleveland, Ohio, two of the most desolate post-industrial wastelands on a train.
truly forgotten by the
and we're hanging out for a while. It was probably like 7-hour train ride, 5 or 7 hours or something like that. And I was hanging out in the diner cart, and in the diner cart, I feel like I was in a Coen Brothers movie or something. I met a one-armed writer. No shit, one-armed writer.
Whoa, you never told me about that part.
You never told me about. He was very chill. He was like very. He was the least Coen Brothers character out of everyone that I met.
Wow.
The savant guy.
John Goodman.
Yeah, he would definitely be the John Goodman character. The savant guy, which I made play Jeopardy, and he got like every question right. And then there was just this other lady who may have been, chemically dependent. And somehow over the course of the conversation, the addict and the savant got in an argument about the Mexican-American independence. They started. I recorded it. I'll have to re-listen
so
to it.
funny to listen to.
And they were like basically yelling at each other. And this
I'll have to
like,
see if you can send me the file.
oh my god! We can edit it in. We can edit in the quiet time soundbite. But this yeah. So jumping ahead, this absolutely harassed fucking Amtrak worker was like, all right, we're gonna have some quiet time. He's like, ma'am, go sit down. Very surreal experience on the Amtrak.
Yeah. I'll
But
tell you, today I was on the train and I saw a guy have like just a glass of water that he brought with him. Like it wasn't in a bottle; it was just like an open, literal like dining room like glass, like a glass cup. He just like brought with him.
did he have like? Why am I picturing him bringing his own ottoman or something?
No, other than that, he was completely normal. It was an interesting one, but not as interesting as your story.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot to go on there. That's more mysterious.
I guess.
I have so many
Like,
questions.
right, like, do you think it was just circumstance?
I think he probably wasn't paying attention.
Just like walked out of the house with a glass of water and was like, well,
Yeah,
this is coming with me.
yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
that's what I think.
Anyway, that's enough about trains. As much as I would love to make this the train hour, we do have a mystery to get bottom to the down to. Get down to the bottom of.
We're about to get down to the bottom.
Down to the bottom, get up, jump the bottom.
Up jump the boogie to the boogie to the boogie the beat.
I don't think that's right, but anyway.
It's close enough. Well,
Scooby-Doo Gang.
Scooby-Doo, we do have some work for you. And that work
We do.
is surviving an arcane ritual where we sacrifice a virgin so the dark ones stay dormant.
So yeah, if you haven't seen Cabin in the Woods, you should really go watch it without knowing anything and then come back. But for those who have, or those who aren't maybe the biggest fan of horror movies, it's basically they take all the tropes of lots of famous, I guess, films in the genre that existed already and turn them into this sort of like white collar agency that orchestrates like these killings of various supernatural creatures and traps for victims within as a sacrifice to a sort of ancient deity that slumbers within the earth.
I have to say, I just absolutely love the IBM inspired like 70s office interiors of the shadowy dark one appeasement organization. They absolutely knock that out of the park. It's like I think they even have some like tape mainframes or something. It's very very cool. And what they wear, they look like NASA engineers. You know what I mean?
They do. It's very
they got the
NASA.
exactly. They got the short like white starched colored shirts and the skinny black ties. I'm still
like the pocket protector.
Pocket protector. I'm still a sucker for that. So
the loafers, the Norman Rockwell glasses.
yeah, love the shadowy organization aesthetic. They did a great job.
Well, you could experience it in real life, man. Go work for Lockheed Martin. A similar thing.
No, I'm sure they have like everything is made out of marble there or something. They have all of our tax money to just throw around.
You have to go down an extremely narrow hallway for like 20 feet that's barely wider than your shoulders to get to the bathroom. Just to really remind you who's in charge.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get to the bottom of this. So their goal essentially is it to stop the ritual or simply uncover the mystery? Because these Norman Rockwell guys are hidden far away, and it's the little things within the cabin that the Mystery Incorporated gang will be finding themselves in. Are we
so it's kind of
stop the ritual outright, or are we just trying to figure out what's going on?
So if they figure out what's going on, to kind of fill in the blanks with the Cabin in the Woods plot, if they stop the ritual, they're also bringing out about the end of the world.
That's true.
So that's a little
That's
quandary for them, unless they can find uh, a,
that is quite the moral, yeah, quite the moral dilemma for such a plucky group of young impressionable teens.
So I think the first question we'll think about is, do they survive? Do they make it through without dying?
Right.
And then do they figure it out? And then what do they do?
Now, if this is the OG, it's the OG gang, right? The original '70s run. Do they have any sort of Toon Force, like godly superpowers that come about from being funny?
Can they,
Like, you know,
make little Sonic the Hedgehog circles with their legs and like run really quickly?
yeah, can they do that? Can like Shaggy like pull a sandwich out of hammer space whenever he wants? That kind of thing.
Um, I want to give them that because I think they might need a little edge.
That's fair. Yeah,
Because they
I think
aren't
it's. I
particularly
think
good
it's.
fighters. They already um are virtuous, which will help them, and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Ooh,
So they have a little bit
yeah.
of an advantage, but they're not like great fighters or anything like that. Um, Fred is probably the only one who would like try and fight back a ton.
I mean, does he even ever do that in the show? Really? I don't
They
think he really
he makes
throws
traps.
hands.
That's it. They don't really like
Yeah,
throw hands in that show.
yeah. He won't like tackle like a Leatherface,
No,
or
no.
something like that.
He's making punji steaks
So
for them.
what's curious is I think the Scooby Gang exactly fits because the Cabin in the Woods ritual. It's very important that every person that's sacrificed fits a certain, I guess, a certain archetype or character trope, and I think the Scooby Gang has each one completely covered. So one of them was the athlete, which I guess would be Fred,
Oh,
just
that's
because he's got
100% Fred.
broad shoulders. There's the fool, which is definitely Shaggy, because Shaggy, and then the guy that's the fool in the movie,
Shaggy and then the
and then
stoner character
the
from the
same
movie.
character.
Now the
Yeah,
Chris
the
is it
one
Chris
with the
Evans who's in that movie? Thor. What's that actor?
yeah, Chris Hemsworth.
Chris
He
Hemsworth
is in that.
is would be the Fred character. His character would be um the jock kind of character.
Yeah, exactly. So that's 1-to-1. Um,
But notably, they subvert
his
genre expectations by making him a smart himbo. He
well, that's
recommends a
that's part
book
of
to Dana in the
he
original.
does, and that's part of like how they kind of force the people they find to fit this mold because they like drug the people before they go in and
That's
make
true.
them
That's true.
act more aggressive or act unrationally or more rash than they normally would. So they might be feeling the effects of that a little bit. But other than that, I think they had like a scholar as one of the options, which I know clearly Velma, right? The smart
Yeah.
one.
Now that was
That was the other dude.
the other dude in the movie. He was like the supposed to be the nerd character.
The last two archetypes are both like there's like the virgin, quote unquote, even though the character in the movie is like me, really. And then Sigourney Weaver's like, yeah, we know, but it's the best we could do. We have, I guess, sort of a harlot, as they describe, like kind of the slutty one, the Blanche of the Golden Girls archetype of
She's
the group.
upset because they keep changing the taste
I
of Coke.
guess that would be Daphne? Question
Yeah, she's not. It's not very
mark. The remaining
explicit. She's
characters that don't fit super well is like either Scooby is the slut, or Scooby is the virgin, and then Daphne is
slutty Scooby.
the slutty Scooby. Who do you think's more of a
A slut Scooby.
yeah? I
Ruh-roh,
assume
Raggy.
Scooby is neutered. I
Right.
don't.
Want to come back to my place?
Raggy, rub my relly.
Rug my
Rub my
really.
relly, rub my
Red Rocket,
roar, roar,
Raggy.
roar. Ugh, yeah. Not
Uh,
pleasant to think about. I
yeah.
mean, he's got a nephew. Scrappy Doo is Scooby's nephew, right? So
Yeah.
I guess that doesn't
Scrappy Doo.
mean that he's definitely canonically fucked.
Scrappy Doo is the cabin in the woods equivalent of the dark entity, which they're trying to appease.
Oh man, that's who they wind up summoning is Scrappy. just like
And
tears him.
Scrappy too.
Scrappy can strip the flesh from a man in under 2 minutes. Did you know that? He can turn you to a skeleton.
He
The time
can
it takes to sing "Happy Birthday."
exactly. Can we talk about our dad's irrational or maybe irrational hatred for Scrappy Doo?
I don't. I think he's just one of a whole generation of people who hated that
He's
character.
part of a whole generation.
He
I
is.
think I don't. I think almost everyone hates Scrappy Doo. To be fair,
Yeah, no one likes him. He's got an annoying voice. He messes with the like dynamic too much.
that's true.
No one likes him. That's why they made him a villain in the live-action James Gunn movie.
Yeah,
It's like a joke.
yeah. That was one of the
But
best things that movie did. It also scarred me for life because they were too real. The, the
yeah,
monsters were
that
real.
movie was weirdly horny. If you want to talk about who's
That was, yeah, yeah. But I think we can kind of agree that Daphne she disappears with Fred all the time. They're always going off together in the original one, even though it's not very
Fred takes
explicit.
both the ladies with him every time they split up. He isn't satisfied at just one.
Oh man.
Fred, Daphne, and Velma are fully on the E&M train.
Oh man.
It's
And
the 70s.
he's reading Traps Illustrated too, so.
And he's reading Traps Illustrated. This man can't stop. So we're saying
he's wetting his whistle any chance he gets.
I guess it makes sense. So the only reason that deciding which character is which archetype matters is because part of the ritual states that the whoever is designated the virgin has to be the last one killed, or they can not be killed at all. They can survive. So that does matter in terms of who gets that.
Yeah, for sure.
Role. I guess it makes more sense like to make Scooby.
I think Scooby is the virgin.
Yeah. That's fair to assume. Okay.
He's probably you know what? They probably got him neutered. So
yeah, right.
How much interest does he really have?
He's a Great Dane. You would see that thing swinging if he wasn't. It's practically at eye level.
Oh Jesus Christ! Instead of a little xylophone, it sounds like like a chicken breast being thrown against the table over and over again.
Oh God, that's so not where I thought you were going with that.
Where did you think that was going?
Like a funny cartoon noise. You said sentient rotisserie chicken running down the hallway.
You're the one talking about swanging.
Plat, plat, plat. Hey man, I calls them like I sees them.
Fair enough. So Scooby is our virginal offering.
That makes sense. It makes sense for him to be the last one alive.
Well, he's the one. The other ones just fit so neatly into the other categories.
So with our archetypes sort of established going into this, we can say that they were lured in with the promise of a mystery, or they don't really strike me as a group of friends that like just goes on vacation together, at least in the original series. I mean, maybe that's the...
I think they're there to solve a mystery. That's the only reason they go anyplace.
They're pretty business.
Yeah.
They're pretty business oriented, aren't they?
Or I guess we don't really know. Like they probably wouldn't make a show out of the Scooby-Doo beach vacation. Unless there was some kind of swamp monster.
I need more filler episodes in Scooby-Doo.
A slice of life.
Arc. I need a tournament arc in Scooby-Doo.
Where Scooby struggles with being a virgin.
Yeah, I need a cultural festival arc.
Right. I'm saving it for marriage.
Oh, it's not because he's married, it's because he's accepted Jesus Christ as his Lord.
I'm religious.
Repent, right?
Repent.
Repent for your Rutney.
Rutney, or you'll relish in welfare.
Raffney, I can read your wrinkles. Put it away.
I think Velma would be false idols, probably.
She worships well, Velma's like a staunch atheist.
That's true. Oh, that would be it. Scooby would be handing her pamphlets and stuff all the time.
How would you feel if, like, everywhere you went, you had a friend that just insisted on bringing their like large dog with them, like everywhere you went?
I don't know.
Old, wouldn't it?
If they can talk, that would be cool.
I guess he's like, yeah, he can talk.
He can respond and he communicates. He's basically like a person.
Fair enough.
They debated that at the Nuremberg trials, the personhood of Scooby-Doo.
Of talking. dogs.
Yeah. It's a black and white photo of
Yeah.
him at the witness stand.
Atone for your crimes.
Right, I was restoring orders.
Dear God. Scooby is actually much older than he says he is. Like Scoob.
Like we found him in
Spent
Argentina.
time in Argentina.
Yeah, then we both went to the same place. Yeah, that's good.
Good times. So let's say, they pull up with the mystery machine to the cabin.
Okay, I pull up.
Snooping around.
I start scooping
They
around.
probably realize, Shaggy and Scooby are probably on edge already, just because it's like a creepy location, and they have to pass. It's a rule that they have to pass.
Someone who's a warning.
Turn back. Yeah, it's like when you start a new job. Talk to an employee who's been there for 3 years. Turn back. It's like the skeleton hanging in front of the Pirate's Cove or something as a warning to the others.
Unlimited PTO is a scam. You'll be socially pressured to never take any time off.
I haven't gotten a raise in 2 years.
I pay a lot of money for dental insurance.
401k isn't really worth it. They only match 1.5%.
They should have that instead of HR. It's just an old man who...
Just like a wailing skeleton.
A wailing old man who gives foreboding messages about the dangers of working at this place. Or maybe that's the way like safety trainings could be delivered in the future.
This just in. President Biden creates over 1,000 new jobs. The wailing old man.
The wailing OSHA representative. Prithee and beware. Do not stand on a pallet being held up by a forklift. Honestly, I think everyone would pay more attention.
Yeah, I definitely would. It'd be edutainment.
Edutainment.
It wouldn't be as dry.
It wouldn't be. Yeah, it would be like Stapler Fahrer Klaus. I still remember that. Famous German instructional video where the guy just basically gores everything in his path driving a forklift.
The dude just becomes the killdozer
in
the forklift.
Yeah.
He finally rages,
This podcast is just 6 degrees to killdozer. Between this and the Kevin episode.
The Nuremberg trial. That's come up more than that. As long as we don't start talking about Taylor Swift, I think we'll be fine. That's like that's where we'll get tackled if we start talking about Taylor Swift or football.
We respect T Swift in this.
I maintain a strong
stance
of neutrality. It's
Switzerland in the T Swift debate.
I will say I am a little bitter from getting stuck in the traffic of the Eras Tour.
That's true. The 2023 Eras Tour. Gridlock.
I almost starved to death in my car. Cut off my pinky toe and eat it. A little snack. To cut it off with a plastic knife I still have in my car from Church's Chicken. Had a little bit of their spice on it too, so it tasted pretty good. Now and then I look at my other little toe and just kind of think about it.
This is I think this was the sequel to 127 Hours. It didn't make it past the pitch phase. Which,
I feel like James Franco would be an executive producer on that if I pitched it too.
But the connection being, in that movie, he hallucinates Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, that's right.
Exactly.
It's really funny because they do the laugh for like a split second.
I know. They go, reputate your leg, Raggy. Or your arm.
Have known in that movie that would be funny, right? Like,
I think so.
Thought it would be taken seriously.
It's just delirium. It's supposed to just. That's what I took it to mean. You know what I mean?
I guess.
So.
Yeah. Much like James Franco, I too am an Ouroboros, destroying my own body, gradually replacing it with new things.
Damn, I didn't see that one, bro. Does that happen in The Dictator, whatever that one, North Korea one is?
No, it happens in Sausage Party.
No.
What's even in that?
The sausage which envelops itself.
big sausage turned inside out. The casing's on the wrong side.
Damn.
Think about it.
Yeah, but I think we have our roles pretty defined.
Yeah, we've got our roles. We know that they probably ignore the old man because they always ignore.
Yeah, there's always an old man there. I feel like that's like
the one who did it.
That's how they know they're getting close to their destination. Is like some guy like
some old
tells them to turn back.
Yells at him. Yeah, and they're already like writing down his name in the list.
Yeah,
as a possible suspect.
Velma's got like photographic memory. She's ready to just in 10 minutes from now worth of show pull off a mask and have that guy be under there. Old man Jenkins.
It was you all along, you son of a bitch. That's what Velma always says.
That was her tagline. She'd take her little cigar out of her mouth.
Classic line.
She'd say, "It was you all along, you fucking son of a bitch."
So they definitely make it to the cabin, right?
Oh yeah.
So a lot of the ritual involves like
they have a little repeating background going by like 5 times.
Yeah. They wouldn't even notice if they put that on the big projector thing.
See, that's true. They have to, because of the normal cartoon circumstances, they don't have to put any effort whatsoever into the simulation. They literally just have like a canvas on the side of the road.
Yeah. They only have the same like 3 frames of animation.
Exactly.
Over and over. Do you think they could like find all the clues about the real nature of the cabin by like just finding the highlighted floorboards that aren't part of the background?
No, they're not aware of that, unfortunately.
They seem to always find them. I don't know. So speaking of them finding things, I guess. So they're probably gonna start inspecting the cabin. They're looking for clues. They're in full detective mode. Now, part of the ritual is that the victims kind of, in a way, choose what exact, like, creature or killer takes them out one by one by, like, messing with various items that are kept on the cabin.
It's kind of like how they choose the Dalai Lama.
Yes, literally. They line out all the toys on the carpet, and then if you pick the right one, you get to be the new Dalai Lama.
Exactly.
Instead of being the new Dalai Lama, you get murdered.
Yeah, sad. But hey, man.
But other than that, pretty cool.
That's Samsara. Also, best quote from that movie is when the guy has the conch, and they have the betting pool for which grisly monster they'll summon.
Yes, they have the betting pool.
And there's the fella has like all his money on the mermans who are summoned by a conch shell, and the dude like almost blows in the conch. But by that time in the movie, they read the diary of Patience Buckner, I believe, and start the Psycho Hillbilly storyline. But the fella bought in with it. It's conch. The fella who was all in on the conch just goes like, he had the conch in his hands.
Yeah, that's a great quote.
Great quote.
I still like the quote when the one department who bet on zombies is mad that they don't get the payout because they technically summon zombies, but the same dude has to clarify that, well, they didn't really summon zombies, they summoned the redneck zombie torture family. It's like the difference between an elephant and an elephant seal, which I just love.
They are different MOs.
They are.
The hillbillies are using rusty tools and commenting on how pretty your mouth is.
More like spooky one at a time. The zombies are just a big horde, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So, which of these curious critters do you think they summon? Do you have a list?
Yes, we do have a list. So the ones that get held in the movie are as follows. There is a roll of film, I believe held up by the stoner character, which summons Kevin, which we'll get into.
Kevin!
There is a puzzle box thing shaped like a sphere that summons the obvious Hellraiser Pinhead ripoff guy.
His name in the credits is Fornicus, I think. Lord of Bondage.
Yeah, Fornicus, Lord of Bondage.
No, it's amazing title.
Fornicus, Lord of Pain and Bondage. Also, what they called Alex in high school.
Hey, what can I say? When you're a ladies' man. You're a ladies' man.
There's the mermen mentioned just a moment ago, who are summoned by the conch. The Buckner family, summoned by um, the Diary of Patience Buckner, the daughter, uh, which are summoned in the film. They made the very poor decision of reading a Latin inscription in the bottom of the creepy house, which is just a rookie
You
mistake.
never read the Latin inscription.
Never read it. There's also the Bride, which is looked at.
Just like Catholic school.
And then I believe the last one is the Bride, where whom Jules or almost summons by looking at her dress.
Oh, and don't forget, there's also the Sugar Plum Fairy, which is almost summoned by the Brainy character by playing with the music box. These are some juicy clues. Like, you put all these clues in the same basement as the Scooby-Doo Gang, they're gonna be off to the races. So who do you think they're going for out of all these? Like, which of these are the most juicy? I don't think the necklace is super significant.
No, that's kind of just something normal, like an old wedding dress. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that one's staying in the background painting.
I'm seeing the puzzle box, and honestly, maybe just the same book.
Yeah, the diary, just anything that has written information. Because in the movie, they're all kind of messing with the various items and gizmos.
Yeah, they're just picking them up
Right.
and looking at them and stuff.
So we don't know exactly how they activate them. I mean, for the
No.
the conch. You have to
I think
assume
you
that
could
they
say
blow
you
it.
could say conch too. I'm pretty sure.
I'm gonna say conch because it just sounds like conch, like crunch.
I
feels
think
right to
I
me.
think you heard that from SpongeBob.
Yes, that's totally it. SpongeBob has informed a lot of my vocabulary, so I'm gonna stick with that method. Um, so blowing into the conch, we can assume solving the puzzle box. I think that's the second one that really is the only thing that might stand out more so than
Right,
reading the
right. I see
diary.
that too. But I think the Scooby-Doo gang, they're very conditioned to pull books and make the little bookshelf swirl around and kind of dump them into
That's
a
true.
secret passageway.
Yeah, if there's a bookshelf in there, they're probably just like sliding their hand down, like trying to knock out all the books until they find the lever.
Yeah.
But the diary is kind of just like it's kind of just on a shelf or like on a desk, I think,
Yeah.
not on a shelf.
It isn't highlighted against the painted background like they
Yeah, but
normally
that one,
expect.
I guess it might be the juiciest one. Do you
Yeah.
think they read the Latin? The only other one I think is maybe the puzzle box, just because it's like a fun challenge
Yeah,
to
I see
blow
that
up,
too.
you know?
But we can think about how they do against any of them.
That's true. So basically, once one of these items are activated, the creature is summoned and starts killing the people in the cabin. So let's just to keep it easy to begin with. How do you think they do versus the Buckners?
The
Because they're probably
Buckners.
gonna be thinking the whole time that it's a dude in a costume, because that's been their experience up to now.
Yeah, I think it might take
So
one of them getting killed to realize that like they're not just gonna be grabbed.
right, they're not just gonna be like chased out of the property.
Yeah, you're not just
Usually
gonna
who's
be.
dying first?
I don't know.
I'm trying to think of who always.
So
Because
Fred
let's
is
go.
definitely the bravest. So he would be the one who wouldn't just be playing the little xylophone sound effect and running away.
You know, you say that, but he's never.
He never
He
gets like
never
captured.
offers to be the bait.
That's
It's
true. It's
always
always
Shaggy and Scooby that have to be the bait.
yeah,
He never
or
gets
Daphne just
captured.
gets captured and like she's the damsel in distress.
That's true. Daphne always kind of seems like nonplussed. Like, of all of them, she seems the least excited to be there. Well, I guess Shaggy and Scooby are like objectively scared and don't want to be there.
Yeah.
But other than them, she's kind of just like
He's just like
around.
whatever. It's really my
Right.
boyfriend's thing. She's just there because he wants to be there.
I feel like what happens is obviously Shaggy and Scooby. I think Shaggy is target number one because he's the fool.
But he survives to the end in the movie.
But
Fool.
I think he's the first one they target. Is he not?
I can't remember how it goes down with the Buckners. Do
No,
you
you
remember?
know what? It is. I think it is the quote unquote harlot who gets taken out first in the movie,
Yeah, I
if I'm
think
not
famously
mistaken.
they're trying to bone outside.
Right, but maybe it's just because they were making a bunch of noise outside, so I could see like Shaggy and Scooby be like that journal's really freaking me out. I need some air, and maybe see if I can make a sandwich out of pine cones or something. I don't know.
Like I'm gonna spook the tree resin, Scoob. I'm putting it in my rig, Scoob.
Reggie.
Reggie hit the screen.
Reggie hit this Zaza. This shit is like pure curricle grass. Reggie Risra was incubated in the shell of a great great grandfather snail. Yeah, they definitely go out to have a little smoke
Oh
sesh
yeah,
outside or something.
he's
So I think they're the ones making the most noise and like attracting the killers first.
hmm. I think
Shaggy and
so well we
Scooby,
shouldn't
I don't
forget
think they
that
die though.
the Hadley, who is the kind of person controlling the sacrifice in the shadowy company, also releases pheromones and different things to kind of guide them into their roles. So the first contact in the case of the Psycho Zombie Hillbillies between the Cabin in the Woods crew is when he he releases the love pheromone from the vents. Starts
Actually,
paying.
it's even earlier than that. Because remember, they put shit in the main character's hair dye, don't they, to make her dumb.
Yes, that's true. Like Jules is really
So do you?
smart. I remember, so that she's the one who is supposed to be like the harlot, and then um Dana, the character with the red hair, remarks that she's acting like dumber than usual because they
Right.
put something
And
in
at
her
first it's
hair
like, oh, you're just trying to act dumb so like you
to
can
get attention.
get the boy, but really it's because they put the dum dum juice in her head. Also, it's kind of implied that being like stoned out of his mind makes Marty, the funny guy, immune to the drugs that they try
So yeah,
to.
see,
So
that's
maybe
another.
Shaggy
That's
is
not.
like immune.
That's another reason he's got like a chemical tolerance. That's what I'm saying. So
Yes.
in the but
So
what I was
Scooby
saying
might.
in the movie, he when they release the love pheromone, Kurt and Jules go do it outside. He plays like
Right,
Marvin
so they
Gaye for them,
definitely
and they're
push
like,
them.
"Let's
I
get it
don't even think
on."
I don't even think the secret government board of shadowy figures would even have to do that though. I think Scooby and Shaggy would just like start walking out and they'd be like, "All right, they're going on their own, I guess. See where this goes." You know?
They're the scaredy cats, though, Alex. I think, uh, I
But
think
the
it's
basement is scary. When Velma starts reading from the diary and it's like all gross and they talk about like
yeah. They're going
torture and
upstairs and they're going into their bedroom and they're making a comically large sandwich. They're not going outside. Come on.
oh, I guess they're not going
It's
outside.
Rookie Raggy. It's here. Stay here and hit
So
the.
you think they try to like
They're staying inside and hitting the
you think
Dragon Blood dro that they got.
you think they like try to like use the stuffed wolf head on the wall to like breathe gas right in Shaggy's face and he's just like Scoob, did you just rip one?
Yeah,
He's just like totally unaffected.
yeah, maybe. I think Fred, the bravest one, and Daphne are going outside.
Well, because they always split up to look for clues. So maybe Fred takes his bitches into the basement and then they read the creepy diary and activate the Buckners. And then
I think
from there,
Daphne. I
the
think if for the in terms of activation for the book, they're just going straight downstairs, and Velma, a little nerd, finds a book and she's like, "Oh, I'll read this." And I think she just barrels through the
yeah,
Latin without hesitating at all. She's like, "Oh,
yeah,
Latin, I studied this."
I feel like I can picture her reading shit out loud a lot in the original show. She's always like, "Be warned, turn back. What do you think that could mean, guys?" And it's like, Velma, I don't have like a fifth grade reading level, alright? I know you're smarter than me, but you need to tone it down.
Oh, you think she's Dora the Exploring then?
Yes, she totally is.
She
She's
reads it
waiting for
three
the little blue
times,
cursor.
and she's
Can
like,
you find the book?
Shaggy, Scooby, and Fred are just like looking with a little loading icon over their faces. Plays a DSL noise.
Just staring at them vacantly to respond. Yeah, so I guess it's a matter of how do they get them from the basement to
That's
outside
what
or
I'm
something.
saying. Fred and Daphne are going to the Bone Zone.
I
They're
think
getting their groovy
that's a
love
little bit
digs on.
against. I guess if we're saying
It's
Shaggy's
a love
screwed,
pheromone,
then
man. I'm telling you.
I'm saying he's taken both of them though.
Maybe.
That's just how
Okay,
Fred rolls, you
he's
know.
always doing that.
Polyamorous king. He's always
Yeah,
taken
maybe
both of
he's
them.
sure the polycule's going mobile. Let's say that.
He's like Shag and Scoop. Why don't you go
No, there's
rent the juice or
zooted.
something, man?
They got
I'm gonna
scared and they're
take them
getting
girls.
zooted inside. Outside, inside.
Yeah, so they're already, whatever. But okay, so if the exact same thing happens, they're also like, yeah, let's go outside so we don't have to deal with Shaggy and Scooby, getting zooted in the other room. So if all three of them are out there, who do you think's dying?
um. So in the movie, Jules dies first. So I mean, going by that same metric, or who they would target, I guess Daphne would go.
You think they would target her? I feel like in the show a lot, Daphne has a strange way of just like,
Avoiding trouble.
yeah, she just kind of like is always just out in time to like not get grabbed and stuff. Like
She
that
gets.
really happens in the intro.
That's true. She gets captured a couple times though. I remember.
She does get captured, so
I think she's the first one
you
out.
know what? She is probably the most likely one to. Man, it's kind of crazy because I feel like we're really trying to avoid. At least I'm trying to avoid just saying like, let's just say the events of the film, but with the Scooby Gang. But it's really lining up. Like,
Well, it makes
this is
sense.
really
Like
happening.
she's the one that's been pheromoned too. You know what I mean? So she might not be the most aware. And they're definitely not going for Scooby because he's the virgin.
If
He
there's
doesn't have
three
to
of them,
die.
though, do you think that kind of gives them more eyes and keeps them from
For whatever reason, I think Velma would be
seemingly?
least likely to die out of the three of them.
I was gonna say, I was actually before you said Daphne, I was gonna say she was the most likely because she's always losing her glasses and then just drops whatever she's doing and crawls around on the ground.
Yeah, but
And
that's
she's
just for
defying
a
the
moment of
force for it.
suspense. That's so she can bump into the zombie's feet and then run away.
That's what I'm thinking happens, except because it's like an actual, I'm gonna try to kill you, dude, and not just a lame like car salesman or whatever who's trying to keep the property values low or something.
Yeah.
She just gets axed.
I don't think so right
She
away though.
steps
I'm
right into
still
the
saying
action.
Daphne because she's the
You say
least.
Daphne?
I think she's like the least aware. I think Velma at least is like on edge, and she needs to be bumped or something like that for her glasses to fall off.
I guess that's true. But she's also pheromoned. Remember that.
Is that how we're working it? The whole polycule is getting
The
the
whole polycule is getting the pheromone juice,
getting
brother.
gassed up.
I hate to be the one to tell you, but
I regret to inform you, the polycule has been love gassed. I remember that picture of George Bush when he
God,
was learning
college, am
that
I right?
both female characters have been gassed.
We all remember where we were that day.
There has been a second gassing.
There's been a second gas, dude. Shit. Yeah, and I don't think any of them would notice the gas because they're never noticing like the eyes and the paintings that fall around them.
No, they're very
They're
unaware.
very unaware in many ways.
That's
Yeah,
very true.
if they're not directly looking for something, they are frequently fail to notice obvious things. So, so let's say Daphne's dead. How do you think Fred and Velma would react?
I think they would freak
I mean,
the
obviously,
f out. Like they'd never dealt with
yeah, they've
anything like
never.
that before, and like we'd kind of be in new territory. Like they may.
So this would be usually it's Shaggy and Scooby who are like Courage the Cowardly Dogging trying to like describe what they saw to everyone else. But this is like a rare time where it happens the reverse way, and not only that, but it's like the worst thing ever, and Daphne is dead.
Yeah,
So everyone's just panicking at this
I
point.
think so.
Because
And
Shaggy and Scooby are not gonna be.
they're so zooted right now. They chose the exact worst time. Maybe they just start laughing at them. They're like, okay,
Yeah, they're just like, all right, very funny.
you've tried
How
to.
many Scooby snacks?
You pulled this one off before on us.
Faking their death. I wonder what the closest they've ever come to dying in the original series is. If you're out there and you know of an episode where they almost die, send it in.
Yeah.
Because I want to know. But, so we think they're not handling it well. And at this point, we got some terrified people versus the Buckners, who are, at this point, probably going to slowly advance on the cabin. Do you think they have any hope at this point of kind of uncovering the clues to the true nature of the cabin? Or do you think they're gonna try to still unmask the zombies and be like, who is this actually? Like, thinking it's just another goof, or what?
No, I definitely think they're past the point of unmasking. If they just saw Daphne get harvested by a rusty sickle
Okay, yeah.
and
we can
put
get
into a
that
truck in
theory.
the side of a combine harvester and then processed into bread.
God damn.
What if they really committed to the farming bit?
Like the zombies.
Yeah,
Like
what
they
if they
just
had to? What if they spray painted them like wheat color and then killed them with a combine harvester?
what?
You
They
heard
spray
me.
paint their victims wheat color. They're like, hold still.
Oh, still, they concrete your
You're
little
now wheat
feetsies.
color. Now stay there.
Just makes it,
They
it
don't
gives
get
it that
combine
rustic
harvester.
feel.
Those things you don't even have to do much. You just check everything now and then. There's like a mini fridge in there. You get to watch TV.
Yeah, they got the GPS
So
autopilot. It's easy to be a
it's
hillbilly
recording for
slasher
you.
at this point.
Yeah, dude. So automated.
They outsource all of it. They've outsourced all the jobs from West Virginia. And now people in Southeast Asia have to be the psychotic killers.
The remote combine harvester. Psycho.
Yeah.
Dang. This really dealt a fatal blow to a lot of the mom and pop psycho
Yeah.
the Leatherface
Globalization.
families of the world.
Victims everywhere of globalization.
That would actually be a really interesting idea, like the serial killer families in Podunk Town. Like they build a highway so no one ever comes to it anymore.
The interstate
So
cuts
they
them
just have
off,
no
and
food.
they can't kill anyone
They have
anymore.
no food supply. They have to go into.
They're all driving for DoorDash now instead of killing people. They all work at Dollar Tree because it's the only job.
You don't take Leatherface and you just like.
He just gets sad. His spirit is completely broken.
No, he does the tantrum that he does at the end of the movie, but instead of flinging his chainsaw around, he's like pouring your drink out.
He's stomping on your
around.
breadsticks because he didn't tip him.
He sends you a picture that says "so hungry, I had to take a bite." Just like
I'm sorry. I'm having a really tough day. I will not be delivering the food. He's instead of using chainsaws, he's weaponizing his the idea of self care to eat your breadsticks.
Man, yeah, those cheddar bacon biscuits from Red Lobster
Make it act
they'll
up.
kill you quicker. They'll kill you quicker than any chainsaw.
Yeah.
You're getting unfettered access to them. That was actually a story I think not too long ago. A guy like ate like 50 of those things in one sitting and died or something like that.
The
What an awesome
Red Lobster like biscuit things.
Yes.
Those things are probably like half butter.
Yeah.
We've made those from the
They're
package
so
before. They are pretty good though.
Did you?
Oh,
Yeah.
they suck to
Some
reheat though.
dude just killed himself by eating so many of them.
Yeah. He just instantly like it was basically the equivalent of mainlining like one of those like gallon things of canola oil.
He just like anamorphed into a giant lump of butter.
He anamorphed into like condensed arterial sclerosis. Just a big gonk. It made that sound
Um,
effect too. Wow.
yeah. So anyway, we got a scared Scoop Gang, one member down. Do you think? I think Velma is maybe like pulling them together because she's the only one who maybe doesn't have as rich parents. Like her parents are a little more working
Oh
class.
yeah,
That's why she had to be smarter, you know.
exactly. I would say so.
She's got
That's why I don't want her to
she's
die
got
first, because I think to get into the fun stuff and the back rooms, she needs to help them figure that out.
Yeah, I mean it's true though. She's really never the one getting captured. It's
No,
always
she has her sensor. It's just her glasses, and that only happens later.
it does always happen later. It probably happens. I imagine if they find like the whole containment facility and all the different monsters, while the monsters are like slaughtering the guards, she's like crawling on the ground, avoiding them all with her
Exactly.
glasses.
That's when it would happen.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd have like some like
So
SCP
easily.
like that just got out and like it's got 10,000 like tentacles with like razor sharp knives or something on them, like just
Yeah, just like
slicing
avoiding
every
some
square inch around her, and she's like,
some poor
"Whoopsie, I'm a
androids.
little nearsighted." Yeah,
Oh, I can
but
never find the darn things.
oh yeah, can never find it there. But
Probably
I
the
think
Midwest
at
code.
this point they're back in the house. Fred and Velma are like freaking the fuck out right now, and I think they're going to start doing stuff that is not as fun and carefree as their typical mystery. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? They might start arming themselves, for
mystery
instance,
shenanigans.
or planning like more lethal traps than just like a little lasso that falls on them.
Ooh, so you think Fred like
Oh
he
yeah,
gets
he's
revenge
definitely
angry and he plans some crazy odd
he's
traps?
going Viet Cong on them.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so what kind of
Yeah,
traps
and
might he
I
make? I don't
think
know.
the Buckners are pretty dumb question mark. They kind of just like wander around and then kill whoever they see.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they can be overpowered because Marty beats one of them like in hand-to-hand combat, and he's not even like supposed
He
to be
kind of just
doing that.
escapes. I don't think they kill any of them, do they?
Pretty sure he does, because how else would you get away? I mean, I guess they are kind of slow, but yeah, I do think they could be goaded into falling into like a pit of spite. I don't know how much material he has to work with.
He's always whipping those up on the fly.
He is, but they're always in like a warehouse or like an amusement park or like something that gives him like things to work with.
I think there's
Like
in a
that is
cabin.
just
There's some things to work with. There might be a big like 2-person saw or something like that hanging above the fireplace.
yeah. Some of the
They
Applebee's
have the
shit
wolf
that he
skull.
pulls there. So you think he like turns it into like one of those Hot Wheels tracks that like bites? You
Yeah.
know, he's gonna come along like I'm gonna bite you. I mean, I could if we're giving them some liberties of like Toon Force, I could definitely see him whipping up something like that. But he's gonna try to convince Shaggy and Scooby to be bait. Do you think there's any amount of Scooby snacks that could convince them to do that when the monster will definitely kill them?
I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna do that kind of cartoony bait setup that they normally do. Do you think he's still gonna do that? I
Yeah,
think Fred is basically bloodlusted at this point. Like he wants revenge bad.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think he
The
values
polycule is
Shaggy's
2/3
life.
of what it once was. That's a blow.
I think Fred is annoyed that he even has to bring Shaggy in the first place.
Yeah, he might see them as a liability. To your point.
Yeah, I think he wants to, but I don't think he can convince them. And I think
Yeah,
Velma would also be like, "We're not doing that."
they're also zooted off of the Dark Wizard Druid pack.
They are, they are absolutely
They're
obliterated
on the
by the.
13th ethereal plane of being.
They have they have eaten of the crystal apple and ascended to the warlock
Exactly.
realm at this
They have
point.
gained the knowledge of the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
They have ascended the staircase of heaven and looked God
They have
in the
played
face.
Staircase to Heaven in the guitar store and had the sign tapped at them.
They have become king of the seven-part world and learned one of the divine names of God at this point for sure.
They have been contacted about their car's extended warranty. No
They've
stairway
been
denied.
beyond the Nebulon and seen the Sagittarius system at this point.
Damn. I remember the first time I saw the Sagittarius system on the internet. No one else was home.
It's a romantic night.
On the family computer.
Yeah. You never remember to clear your search history, though. That old Toshiba. I once have... Can I tell you a really funny memory about being on the family computer?
Uh-oh.
Naughty things. I was like a kid, like a little kid, and I looked up cool animal facts on the computer.
I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, one of the cool animal facts was like the orgasm lasts for 30 minutes or something.
Exactly.
And I just yelled in the other room, I'm like, Dad, what's an orgasm? And he said, what? What are you looking at? And he ran into the room. He was so mad I didn't understand why. I'm like, is that like another word for organism? Like, I don't get it. And it said, like, in my next life, I want to be a pig. And he was like, get off that website. I'm like, why? It's cool.
I remember that. I think I was there next to you when you were looking.
I don't think you weren't in my memory. Maybe I blocked it.
No, I remember that. I remember Mom being there.
Like I remember it was just me and Dad in the house for some reason, and that's why I asked him instead of Mom. It would definitely not be my go-to to ask an unknown word, unless it's my only option.
That's funny. I wonder what he was expecting.
I could have easily opened another tab and just Googled it.
That's true. It's a good thing you didn't have the Googling skills you do now.
I didn't.
You would have a very different adventure that day.
Cool animal facts. Animal facts and Marvel.com.
And the online flash games for VeggieTales.
Oh no, I liked the PBS. The PBS Arthur game, where you get to make an alien, because Buster, the rabbit, was into aliens. I liked that one. I would use up a lot of printer ink printing out the cool aliens I made. Mom and Dad would get mad at me. They would make me do them in black and white. I really wanted to do one in color, and they wouldn't let me. They said, no, you only get to do black and white. And I was like, but the alien needs the green eye stalk.
I seem to remember something about that game, but that's very Alex.
The game had a very, like, intense intro cutscene where it's, like, Buster staring at the smoke detector in his room, and, like, he looks at the blinking light of it and imagines it's, like, a UFO or something. It was very surreal and it made me a little bit uncomfortable. That was where the darkness in me started. Seeing the Buster Alien game, that's where it all began. The deep yearning within me, the sickness, the darkness. That's why I said no, we can't to the Bob the Builder theme song.
I'm kind of fucked up. I make the freakiest alien I can think of on the Arthur character creator.
Crazy Straw is just like a normal straw to me. That's
damn, that's sick. That's so fucked up.
Speaking of dark and twisted, anyway.
That's exactly the kind of cruel traps that Fred is cooking up right now. So what's he making?
Ooh, a Crazy Straw? I think he's making maybe like an Ewok-style log swinging.
You think he's making Jub Jub?
I think he's making Jub Jub. I think he's making Wicket. I think he's inviting all the
Wicket.
Force pals.
How can he make Wicket and Jub Jub without the entire polycule being there? Do you think he's really in the mood for Jub Jub at such an occasion as this?
Nothing about that sentence I didn't like. I bet the Ewoks had some free love.
Oh my god, yeah. That's the only thing they had going for them.
They may have been primitive, but they were more advanced in some ways.
That's true.
Anyway.
See, they were a bonobo evolve instead of chimpanzee evolve.
God, not this again. Barreling on before you go on your sex paradise planet rant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he does some stuff with the trees. I don't think the Buckners don't seem particularly with it. Like, they seem a little...
No, they're like lumbering a little bit and stuff. I think he at least gets one, and then they have to like maybe run out of the house in the mystery machine.
See that.
Or at this point,
while that's happening, Velma can find a critical clue about the nature of the
Oh,
movie.
definitely. So that's why I think Velma would be still around. I think so. In the movie, they see like surveillance equipment there. I think at this point,
Do
Velma,
they?
when Fred is making like, let's say he's making like a hot oil above the door or like some kind of spring-loaded
He's doing
saw
some
trap.
bullshit.
That's
Oh, that's a good one.
yeah. Let's say he's doing something like that. I think Velma like realizes that something is up. Usually they wait until Shaggy and Scooby go to bed and just have their normal polycule time, but like she realized that the love potion has been in the air. You know what I mean? Or she sees the
Yeah.
she kind of sees what's going on. She sees the video
She
equipment.
probably realizes that she's hornier
It's true.
than
She's like very I think she has like a chart or something like that. She's like, hmm.
She's like, it's the third of the month. Usually Freddy isn't this active.
Yeah, I know.
This is around the anniversary of his
His circadian rhythms are
brother's death.
yeah.
So he's usually a little too down. But like, yeah, I could see her like putting together like that they were acting out of character and then taking it.
She finds like the surveillance stuff.
Yeah.
So she knows something is up.
Shaggy helps her realize because he's been immune thanks to the Shadow Wizard Zaza.
Because he's elevated in an elevated plane of existence and he's just like dispensing truths.
Yeah, he's probably like.
Or maybe he's super paranoid.
Why did you use some of the gas that came out of the wall earlier? And Velma's like, what did you just say? I feel like they put two and two together. You know?
Yeah, they definitely figured it out at this point.
Gets their share this week. So she figures out they're being watched. I think it's Marty in the original movie that finds like the service hatch that leads.
That he finds the cameras and he also finds the elevator that takes him down into the kind of back room area of the shadowy organization.
Do you think that they find that?
Yeah, let's say they do. So I think maybe Fred like sets a trap or something like that. They plan just to like jet out of there in the mystery machine right afterwards. Maybe he kills one of them by like, you know.
Right. I guess they haven't figured out that they're trapped yet is the main issue.
Right. He's using all the tchotchkes in the basement to form some kind of, you know, thing that like shoots out from the ceiling when they open the door. So they do that. Maybe he gets his revenge. He's a little like high at that point. And then they drive off in the car because at this point they don't know that they are trapped. I think they're trying to get the fuck out of there.
They blow out the bridge. So they probably do that at this point.
Well, it's not a bridge, it's a tunnel.
Get in the van.
Don't they?
Right, the tunnel.
But they don't know that. So I think they would go in the car and figure that out. And then they would kind of be like, maybe they got one Buckner, but the rest of them would still be after them. So they would be out in the car and maybe the rest of the Buckner family is there.
Is like slowly following.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they maybe got a little bit of a head start on them.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think their course of action is after they see? Because in the movie, that's where Chris Hemsworth dies because he's all like high on adrenaline. And
I can do it.
Make the jump on his motorcycle.
How are the Dukes going to make it out of this? No, I don't really think Fred does that. But of course, they're being manipulated.
Not stupid enough to think them. Yeah.
He's not like.
He's not stupid enough.
Yeah, he's not like a. He doesn't do too much shit for like bravado. You know what I mean? Does he?
Right. I mean, he wears an ascot. Dude's pretty self-confident. He's pretty self-assured.
That's true. I don't think he's like compensating too much.
In that little outfit. Yeah.
He's not got the shorts that go halfway down his shins and is driving a lifted F-250.
He's got the wide flared like bell bottoms on. I think he's cool.
I think he's probably. He's got the polycule. I think he's like slanging it.
Yeah, he couldn't. He's like, all right, whatever, dude. I got two babes.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't need to try that hard to prove himself, especially now that his main polycule partner has been sadly dispatched by a hillbilly.
Vanished. Yeah,
so I don't think he's doing. I don't think he's doing the motorcycle thing.
I could see him maybe trying to run over one of the Buckners with a van and then like running into a tree, maybe.
Yeah, and then the van being out of commission.
Or him dying.
Could be. Yeah, he could do that. I think he's definitely shook that
Yeah.
Velma's gone, or not? Daphne's gone.
I feel so bad that Daphne's only role in this was to die, but she really just gets no characterization.
She really doesn't. Effed up. That's why in the later Scooby-Doo iterations, they give her more character traits.
Yeah, they always try something different with her. But
Yeah, I think Fred is like
so
he's gonna like just because he's so shook and he's so like angry about Daphne dying, he would like put himself in danger just to like get back at them and like try and kill them.
yeah.
So maybe
that's
he's
what I'm
like
saying. He goes a little revenge mode.
yeah, he could do like what you're saying, like when he's waiting for them and he sees one of the Buckners coming down the road, he just goes and like pins them against a tree, but like the Buckner gets chopped in half and he's like knocked out, and the Buckner top half busts through the window and like
Just,
murders him.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, wouldn't that be good?
I was gonna say maybe what he tries to do is like he lures them into the van with him and like just drives off the cliff with the Buckners in the van and sacrifices.
That could
himself.
be. I could see him doing that too. But let's say either way, he blows up the car and takes out a couple of Buckners or one Buckner.
Yeah, so maybe it's just a little girl left, just like in the movie.
Yeah.
Or maybe the big scary dude.
I think the scary dude gets taken out by him. That would be the one that he sacrifices himself for. Maybe the wife of the Buckner is killed by his trap, and then he gets the guy with the car, and that's who he would be willing to kill himself to get revenge on because he's bloodlusted.
Yeah, I see it. So at this point, we also know that the family seems to spread out a lot to try and cover a lot of area, because like one of them goes to the lake, one of them goes to the house, I think.
Yeah, so Shaggy and Scooby.
They don't really stick together in a pack.
Shaggy, Scooby, and Velma be going through the woods.
They're running.
They're playing the xylophone noise.
And they probably start getting chased by the remaining one at this point.
Shaggy, do you have any leftover evil wizard pack? I want to go up riding. I never smoked marijuana before.
That's out of character. I refuse to believe that.
Well, they're in out of character circumstances.
Do you think Shaggy and Scooby try to do that thing where they like convince the villain that they're in like a restaurant or something, and just through sheer like force of suggestion, they kind of just get them to go along?
They do that a lot.
I feel like they might try it at this point, even though they're like crying. They're like, "Hello, sir. Welcome to
Hello,
the
sir."
They just start this whole improv scene.
Exactly.
Like just a little off the top, man, and then they like cut off the Buckner's scalp and they don't die. And they're like, "Oops."
Would you rank a rot rowel? Scooby is like powdering one of the Buckner's faces and like
yes,
you know what I mean?
Like a Victorian era like monitor.
And they just push him in the river off the cliff or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like the Buckners would be susceptible to that. I think Velma, Shaggy, and Scooby, through combined shenaniganry. Shenanigry? Is that a word?
Mm-hmm.
Should be. I think they can handle whatever remaining one, but they're the only three left. So at this point, what do you think the protocol is if they manage to take them all out?
I think they might find the elevator. They don't really show. Do they show how Marty finds the elevator? I don't think they do.
He kind of finds it off screen.
I think they do that.
Like, because you think he dies, and then he comes back and he's like, "I found something," and he just found it. So it can't be hidden that well, right?
Yeah, I think Velma. I think after they do their.
He knew something was up, and Velma knew something was up, and she'll definitely 1,000% know when she sees that the tunnel got blown up. She would find some trace of phosphorus or something, be like, "This is nitroglycerin, and that's not a natural cave-in, and you can tell from how the rocks fell," and she would, spurg out about
Oh yeah, she's like
minerals or something, and figure
there's very obvious ventilation all along this portion.
Yeah, she'd be like, "The collapse of this bridge was too clean. There was a implosion rather than an explosion."
She's like, so, yeah, but that doesn't explain Building 7. Yeah. Scooby, Jet fuel can't melt steel beams. It makes too much sense. Velma's definitely a 9/11 truther.
She can see clearly. Oh my god, she tries to pull off George Bush's head.
Shaggy, that's where they kept all the FBI records in Building 7. Come on, you guys, pay attention. It is that they did have a bunch of FBI records in Building 7, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. See, that's how they get rid of the last two. Shaggy and Scooby pantomime the barbershop, where they just like yeet them off the cliff, and then Velma like just talks the other one's ear off about 9/11 trutherism until they get so uncomfortable that they leave.
They just slit their own throat.
She's like,
didn't choose to listen to her.
They're like, fair enough, maybe you're right. I gotta go read the dark web.
They're essentially safe to explore. What do you think the protocol would be for the organization at this point if like their got taken out?
So in the movie, everyone dies except for Dana, or they think everyone's dead. They think Marty is dead, but he's really alive.
Yes, and so he sneaks up and kills the last Buckner that's going on her.
Right, about to kill her, and then he takes her to the elevator. So they don't really. They kind of jump into the elevator right away before the organization has time to react. They might send some more stuff out, though. I guess that kind of violates their little, ritual, though. Like, you need one thing, and...
Do you think maybe they try to say, okay, she seems inquisitive, maybe she'll go poke around in the basement again and summon a new creature?
No, I think they just find it fast enough to just get past that point. But I don't think they would interfere after that. Because in the actual movie, we have the different different countries, and those the little kids hold hands and they beat the witch in Japan. And after that, it's not like they send another monster after them. Like they just have that shot and that's it. So they have to kind of stick with this. And I think their only shot now, unbeknownst to Shaggy, Scooby, and Velma, is that is relying on sacrificing Scooby for the good of mankind.
But Scooby himself doesn't actually have to die, because I mean, when they get desperate enough, Sigourney Weaver just winds up holding an M1911 up to the stoner dude's face and is like, "Listen, it's you or everyone else." So, but I mean, we're assuming they're not going to outright explain that unless it gets drastic enough. Do you see them making it down to the same service hatch and hitting the big dumb unleash every monster button?
Yes, because it's funny and I want to think about it.
And okay, so
I think Velma would be too smart, but Shaggy and Scooby would be definitely would be goofing still.
They would be scared though, because they're scaredy cats.
They'd be fighting over the doobie to take the edge off.
They wouldn't want to. I feel like they wouldn't want to go into the elevator.
Well, they have nowhere else to go.
Yeah,
I think they would go into. I think they want to go into the elevator because they don't know that more hillbillies aren't coming.
But then, can you imagine them getting all their really scared reactions to when they're in the elevator and they just see all the other monsters
They're probably just they're probably chill with that because oh yeah, this is the intro to our show. They just see the little Miner 69er and the diver guy from there. What if they see all their characters and they're like, yeah, I remember that one.
See the creeper?
The creeper.
Oh my god, yeah. That's just like in Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed, where all the classic villains come back for one last hurrah.
One last hurrah. Yeah, we're basically just remaking that movie with this hypothetical.
I mean, we're kind of just remaking Cabin in the Woods because so far, it's played out almost the exact same. The only difference is the brainy one lives. How did the brainy one die?
Well, at this point, there's only Dana and Marty left.
Yeah, how did the smart guy die?
He just gets killed by a zombie. So we're deviating a little bit.
Yeah, but okay. So Velma's looking for her glasses in the mayhem.
Yeah, some kind of mayhem happens. Scooby and Shaggy are fighting over the roach to take the edge off, and they accidentally elbow the big red button or something like that.
That's so what happens. Like, oh man, like all this running around.
There's still a hit left, Scoob. Give me that. No.
Quit reefing it, Reggie.
Rest the Reggie on the right hand side, Reggie.
You're row-guarding all the Doritos, Reggie.
And Velma's like, you guys really did it now.
They fight over the joint, and then they release all the monsters. And somehow...
Oh, know what happens now? They have one of those chase sequences where they go in different doors.
I was gonna say...
you were gonna say that?
Different doors. Yeah, so...
They got some surf music or whatever it is, and they got the big Stanley Kubrick shining amount of blood coming out the door. But then it goes into another door.
The monsters. Yeah.
And then at one point they're on top of the blood and they're surfing, and then
at one point the monster they're doing the legs on the shoulders type thing, and they're running, and then the monster's legs are on their shoulders and they don't realize.
Exactly.
You know?
And they chase a horrifying dinosaur creature.
Yeah, Kevin is there. They meet Kevin, maybe.
Velma has a romantic encounter with a werewolf.
She would. Velma gives me big she was a furry.
I can see it.
She wrote furry fan fiction in middle school energy. You know.
Yeah.
I think Velma dies looking for her glasses here. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I just remembered. Daphne actually definitely has to die first because the whore has to die first. It's part of that.
Was that a rule?
It's part of the ritual. And the virgin dies last or survives.
There you go. So yeah, the order is almost the exact same here.
Yeah. But they have the wacky chase scene. No?
I think Velma dies on the wacky chase scene and it interrupts the music.
It could be. And then Shaggy has to, or Scooby has to make the whole thing could culminate with Scooby with the 1911. The whole thing is crumbling around them, and Scooby has to make the final judgment about the worthwhile of humanity. Sigourney Weaver is her entrails are half out because she got sliced open. She's like, Scooby, it's him or all of humanity. And Scooby is crying, and Shaggy's don't do it, Scoob.
It's me, Shaggy.
Think of all the good times we had together, Scoob.
Here's my bold take. I think Scooby does it.
I don't think Scooby does it. I think Scooby wouldn't.
I think he does. I don't think Shaggy.
Think about all the sandwiches they ate together and everything that was on there.
Okay, but I think what you forget.
They put the Swiss cheese on the sandwiches together.
No. Listen. In the original series, Scooby's kind of a dick.
Okay, refresh my memory.
Food. He's always taking other people's food. He's always playing little practical jokes and making fun of people. He's kind of a little rapscallion.
Yeah, well, being a rapscallion is different than shooting your friend with a 1911 in the head.
I just think there's a darkness in him. I think he would. I don't think he would be happy about it, but I feel like he would be willing to do it to save everyone and to save his own hide.
There's nothing behind my eyes, Reggie.
I really feel like he goes
I'm willing for Rort.
I think there's also maybe some resentment in Shaggy let them neuter him, you know.
That is true.
He bogarted the last of the blunt.
He did bogart the blunt.
I feel like the drugs might be having some unknown effects on a sapient dog psychology. I think that's the key way this differs from the movie is I I think Scooby pulls the trigger. I'm sorry.
I don't think he does it.
We're just gonna have to agree to disagree then, because
They're buds, though. They've been buds forever. They hang out together all day.
Yeah, but it's the whole world.
What does Scooby have outside of Shaggy? Is his whole world?
Yeah, no. He's got a niece. I mean, a nephew. He's got Scrappy-Doo.
Who the fuck else is depraved enough to eat liverwurst and ice cream with him? Or chocolate-covered hot dogs? I think he would be a husk of his former self.
I'm not saying he would like it, but I don't think he'd be willing to let everyone else in the world die.
I think he would.
You know what I mean?
Right, it's the run of a new age, Reggie.
You just want it to end with the big giant coming out of the crown.
Yeah.
Maybe Shaggy and Scooby somehow use the Toon Force to survive the end of the world.
He's like that happened.
No, this was before they had awful millennial humor.
Yeah.
Regis
Reverend.
Shaggy's like he's standing right behind me, isn't he? Actually, I think that joke did happen a fair amount.
Yeah. No, that happens in Scooby-Doo all the time.
I still think he shoots him, man. Scooby's just kind of a dick. They don't.
Well, bogarting the blunt is different than killing your friend. I think.
Listen, you're the one that was saying we're doing it based off of the original series only, and I feel like their whole friendship bond only kind of develops later, and Scooby's just kind of a horrible little creature in the original. A lot of the time, he's just stealing his sandwich. He's taking all the glory. He's always being a little and it's played off oh, aren't you a little endearing? Ain't you a stinker, Scooby? But I think there's a malice behind those actions that makes him capable of shooting his best friend in the head to save the world.
All right, well, I think we got to call this 50-50. I think we got to agree to disagree. I think Scooby
there you have it, guys.
He just gives off his monologue about how humanity is wrong.
Oh, do you think he'll be fine because he's a dog?
I think he's dying because the whole thing is falling apart in the movie.
Well, I mean, in the dawn of the new age, when the old gods take back over.
Yeah.
Specifically, they kill humanity, or do they just kill everything on the earth?
I think it's humanity.
Fine,
they make some judgment about humanity at the end of the movie. See, that might be the most. I don't know.
What if Scooby
has been Scooby? Well, he's in the new world. Now controlled by the Dark Ones. Scooby holds the exalted title of Vanguard of the new era. He is the one who eclipsed the old age of humanity.
See, your ending is darker than mine.
Exactly, so that's why you should. But they get to eat sandwiches together.
No, Shaggy dies. Dude.
I think their morality. I think their whole.
Even if Scooby is installed.
Their raison d'être is it's all about snacks.
Shattered age. What?
Imagine what kind of Lovecraft-esque snacks would be in the new world. They love making perverse and
lumps of coal and a ball.
Exactly. They love eating perverse and fucked up foods. I think that would be heaven to them.
No, Scooby would be I'm sorry, Reggie. I can't live without Ram sandwich. Just cap his ass. He would do it. He would so do it.
I don't think he has it. Hey, how about this one, Alex? He doesn't have opposable thumbs. Checkmate.
Yes, he does.
Checkmate.
He
can't even do it.
He can hold a knife. He can hold a knife well enough to cut a donut out of the fog and take a big old bite of it. He could definitely shoot a gun.
Reggie.
I think not only does he shoot Shaggy, he also shoots Sigourney Weaver and becomes the new head of the organization. And uses he adds all the Mystery Inc. Capers as real monsters.
He becomes a new director. Yeah,
Yes. And he gets a sick little blazer.
that's true. He probably would get more snacks in that scenario. No, I
Yeah,
actually can't imagine there
he's
would be as big of an emphasis on snacks in the new Monster Run world.
yeah. If you're saying he's snack lusted, then especially because he's been smoking the most devious roach ever invented by humans at this point.
Yeah, he's got the dro that was uh, sent down by the Lorax and a little pail on the string for the 3 coins and a bent nail and the shell of a great great
He's been
grandfather's though.
inhaling the mist of the dwarven mountains of yonder.
Exactly.
Bro's got one thing on his mind, and it's not saving Shaggy. It
No.
is saving snacks.
Yeah. Just the
Don't
munchies, the
even
munchies
really
that come out
choice.
after that 4D mind folding tesseract Zaza are just so strongly motivating
They hit something
that
fierce.
his entire moral calculus is just subsumed by his desire for snacks. He's like, I can make a Olympic-sized ribbing roll of onions, Raggy. I gotta do it. You understand, right? Blam.
Dude, yeah, Scooby comes down from seeing the world in non-Euclidean geometry. He comes down hard and he comes down hungry. He's like, Raggy, don't make me the waiter. You could have a rimming pool of rachos, Raggy. You understand?
Do you see?
And then Shaggy's like, Shaggy's like, can't you see you made up your mind 5 minutes ago? Do what you gotta do.
Boom, cuts him off.
And that's how it ends, dude.
Nah,
Bats fly out. That's the end of that stupid episode.
I don't think that happens. I think they have they spend too much time in the back of a van together, and he couldn't pull the trigger. Not lack of thumbs also contributing to that.
I think you're mythologizing Scooby's morality and ascribing traits that aren't there.
I mean, he's just a little
At least in the
prankster. It's not
beginning.
like he's doing like things that are morally wrong.
I think stealing someone else's sandwich is morally wrong, dude. I'm not gonna lie. When I was a kid and I saw that, like the bits where Shaggy would be ready to take a big old bite of just like a tasty ass sandwich, and Scooby just like slurps it up from the other side, and he just smacks his teeth down into nothing. Ooh, that made my blood boil. That's not. You don't mess with someone else's food.
Especially because you watch for
Doing
like
pranks.
2 minutes, Shaggy like painstakingly assembling it layer by layer.
Yes, he's like I got these pickles from Kazakhstan.
Like the mustard is Grey Poupon, Scoob. I spent my last dollar on it.
Savor it.
He just eats it all at once. That's true. He is very.
He's gluttonous.
He's gluttonous.
Like, he
Yeah, I could. That's the one argument I can hear. I could see is like
yes.
his. He's just so strongly snack motivated that gets us completely
He's
just
snack pilled. Snack max.
snack packs that could completely motivate him.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know. I'm calling it split though because they're wholesome boys at the end of the day, in my opinion, and we can agree to disagree.
All right. Well, why don't you comment? Send us a fan mail. Send us a pigeon. Send us one of those Hogwarts owls. Tell us if you think Scooby would do it.
Would he pull the trigger?
Choice.
Like,
Would he pull
don't
the trigger?
Scoob.
Would he end humanity to save his best friend for just a little bit longer, or would he cap Shaggy and Sigourney Weaver and become the new director of the shadowy organization?
You know what? I think he might actually have more leverage as director of the organization from a pure snack oriented calculus position.
That's why I think he'd do it.
Like if he's definitely going to be like
Anything.
at least right hand man to the Dark One, if
Also,
in the new
you want to
era.
talk about exotic snacks? They have a whole zoology apartment in that thing that can make mythical creatures. You could have a unicorn steak.
He's making cold cuts out of the. He's making like cold cuts out of the unicorn.
Eric, I love you, but if it was between you and the opportunity to eat unicorn steak, I'd think about it.
It's fucked.
You know? I'd think about it. I'd hesitate. I wouldn't do it, but I'd hesitate. I don't think Scooby would hesitate. Like, he'd do that stupid little snicker he does too.
Yeah.
Maybe
As a
that's
director, he could like literally have a whole division towards making Scooby snacks.
he could have this. He'd be like snack department.
Rack department. Maybe we just because of his gross Scooby snack oriented mismanagement of the organization, it would only last one more year until they fuck up the second time. And then the great one comes, but he has like this, very hedonistic year of eating Scooby snacks.
He just becomes like a big fat like obese dog.
It's almost like the excesses of the late Roman Empire. It's all just Scooby snack oriented. All metrics just become oriented towards Scooby snacks.
He's like, I need someone to reel me to the lavatory.
Really, the lavatory?
You made it sound like Yoda.
Scooby snacks I need.
Smoking that Zaza, you must.
Dark evil dragonback, that is. See the face of God, you will.
Luke, smoke this weed, you must. Open your mind to the force.
Inhale, Luke.
Try this. Dagobah swamp.
I know Yoda just has some crazy like
the blood of the Sarlacc.
Like it's dark on Dagobah, but that bud is just it looks like a disco ball.
Wow.
It's got the fucking like the crystals on it, the THC crystals on it. I know Yoda just has crazy weed in Dagobah.
Yoda's green is like louder than a jet engine, bro. That shit would
Not like that.
That shit would turn into Force Ghost.
Not like the stems and seeds you get on Coruscant, is it?
Not like the lawn clippings back in Cloud City.
Oregano, do you get on Tatooine?
Master Yoda, those edibles ain't shit. Sees the face of the father.
Yeah, Yoda definitely got him way too high in Dagobah.
Oh yeah.
He didn't know he was alive. He's like on Yoda's couch, just like I don't know.
I bet Yoda would have such a comfy couch.
Oh my god. It's probably like made out of some like
couch.
it's probably stuffed with moss and like he like weaved it, but it's like not too scratchy somehow. It's like been worn in to the point where it's like actually really soft.
Like it looks really
It looks like linen and burlappy, but it's actually so worn in that it's comfortable.
It's like really soft.
And when you sit down, like a little
like,
puff of pot
pot
smoke
of,
comes
like,
out.
Fungus pops out of it.
And also
Spore
Yoda has like a fucking insane hydroponic mushrooms growing operation. I can already envision it.
I was gonna say, because of the furniture, Yoda had the comfiest looking chair on the Jedi Council.
That's true.
The rest of those chairs look whack and really uncomfortable. But Yoda's is like this nice little almost like a beanbag like thing. He could sit sideways in it with a cup of coffee.
From Crate and Barrel, the shit is. Paid half my salary. In credits for this, I did.
Not building that shit from IKEA. Miss me with that Allen key, you must. There's two things Yoda is about: good furniture and good Zaza.
That's true. Yoda was a real one.
He's the best. Anyway, this was about Scooby-Doo.
Not anymore. It's about
what
if the challenge is like him just having to rip the bong for like 30 seconds rather than get the X-wing out? A little bitch do not be. Keep inhaling, you must.
Dude, Yoda assaults R2-D2 and immediately tries to turn him into like a bong or like a hookah.
Yeah. That shit do look really comfy though.
Oh my god, it would be so comfy in his little hut. You could just sit down and be like, oh, like after a long day of training too.
Yeah. Also, he has so much seniority that he's not like listening to the meeting that much. He's like he's hitting his little like THC vape and blowing the smoke under his robe.
And he's like consults with the force. He goes on a walk 12 times. uh,
Master Yoda, it's almost your part of the allocated discussion. 1 second, pussy. No, he wouldn't say that. He'd just be like, need to take a walk, I must.
wouldn't get it, you wouldn't. Anxiety I have.
Glaucoma, I have. I have a card. Oh my god.
He breaks out of the.
Who's
Yeah.
okay? Yoda's weed is definitely better than Shaggy and Scooby's. I don't even have to ask you that question.
Yeah, well, I feel like Shaggy and Scooby's. I mean, the '70s, it was probably laced with shit.
Well, if it was 70s, it was like the raggedy long clipping stuff. They've like supercharged marijuana since the time of the 70s, dude.
I'm not doubting that. I just believe that theirs would be laced with like psychedelics. You know,
It could be. They're definitely very groovy.
especially because they're rich kids.
That's true. They can get the
I feel
good
like
stuff.
that gives them access to like.
They're getting the real
I
acid.
feel like their dealer would not be a good dude.
Hmm,
Yeah, Yoda's would be a blissful experience.
for sure. He would have the stuff that doesn't like. It's more of like the body high rather than the head high, and it would like just feel really good and calming. You know, the Satvia versus Indica, whichever one's which. I feel like he would just be like pretty wholesome about it.
Like maybe that's why like Shaggy and Scooby are so nervous and scared all the time is because their weed like just makes them really.
It's
paranoid.
bad weed, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's not great. They're also combining edibles and smoking though.
That's true.
That's a recipe for disaster.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we ended at an impasse on this one, brother. I don't know how
Yeah.
to feel.
What do you think about other kind of totems being chosen? Think there's anything funny?
Yeah, I was
or...
actually gonna say that. So Kevin is an interesting one. So that's one that is correlated to the film tape. He's shown the name Kevin as a creature is shown on the betting board in the movie, but he's never actually revealed. In the novelization, he is apparently a very like normal-looking man with glasses who sucks all the blood out of some dude in like a second. So I feel like there would be a funny moment with Velma and Kevin like exchanging glasses and then looking at the camera and blinking. And then he sucks out all her blood.
Gives it a
I think
suck.
he maybe seduces Velma as like a nerdy guy. You know?
That's true. He has that geek
He's got
chic
a sensitive
riz.
side to him. And then I think he would be very effective against the Scooby Gang.
He's like, Velma, have you read Foucault? What do you think about Descartes and rationalism?
I'm glad you asked, Kevin. I actually have some interesting literature I'd like to recommend to you. Why don't we discuss this by the lake? And then she's never seen or heard from him.
Yeah, that's true. He could just suck them one by
He just
one.
picks them off one by one. Kevin would solo them. What do you think about the merman?
So there needs to be a flood, but you can't really like run away from that. If there's a flood, you could just sit on the top.
I'm trying to think about their encounters with like more water-based creatures, but every time they encounter a watery thing, it always somehow ends with them chasing it on land or vice versa.
There is the diver guy, like we had mentioned before.
Yeah, but doesn't he wind up stumbling around on land?
Yeah, he does. That is true. I don't think they go on in the water with him. They might try and like make a makeshift raft and go
Well,
in.
I think that one also relies on you like going there as a vacation and going swimming.
Oh yeah, they would get one or two of them, but I think they catch on, right?
Yeah, each episode. That one would maybe get one or two of them, but I don't think it. I think they find a way to like open the hatch and drain all the water into the hatch, and like just fuck everything up, just flood the whole basement of the organization.
Yeah. They don't seal it right. They open the elevator shaft and flood it.
He would go in the water. They would figure out that Scooby isn't being targeted while the other ones are alive, and then he would just be allowed to like swim in the water basically, and like he would find a big comically large like drain plug to pull, and then he would like giggle and do his little laugh.
Looking for
Searching the
this?
streets.
And then the merman would do almost like a wily coyote standing over the cliff thing.
Yikes. Yeah. What about the Sugar Plum Fairy? That one is like a little girl with a giant razor sharp teeth mouth.
If she's not more than that, I think almost they could beat her again.
I don't know. She seems pretty vicious. She like solos like a room of guards.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
like you
think
see her
the
like
only
walking
reason they
past
had
and
any
stuff.
chance was because they had the big lumbering psycho hillbillies.
Yeah, they're kind
Like
of ineffective.
they're very ineffective. They're like goofing and spoofing most of the time. It's just meant to be entertaining. Like if they're gonna
Yeah,
like
they also like play with their food a lot. Like they want
exactly,
to torture you, so it gives you more chances to escape.
yeah. If it's gonna be like a John Wick thing, just instantly killing everyone in the room, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think they survived the Sugar Plum Fairy. Maybe I feel okay. That one though, I think would be the most susceptible to Shaggy Scooby shenanigans. Like they'd make her think she was in like a big important recital. She would start dancing, and then I feel like they could riz her up. You know, Shaggy and Scooby live in that one.
Yeah, I don't know how much Riz they have.
They're pretty charismatic. Dude, Shaggy pulls.
I could see Shaggy like low key pulling.
Shaggy pulls a lot over the course of the series. He gets. I mean, this isn't in the original series. No, in the original series, there's the crazy Louisiana redneck girl who falls in love with him.
I don't remember
He's
that.
like, "Daddy, I want that one." You don't remember that? She's got like an older brother with like a comically like oversized like trumpet flare musket blunderbuss shotgun, who's like the most threatening.
That's awesome.
In that one, the villain is just like poor white people. There might be an
see,
alligator guy in that one or something. I don't
see, that's the one where the outsourcing would happen.
know. the big box torture company
Yeah.
taking out all the little small businesses.
Yeah, exactly. They just have a lot of like mechanical zombies piloted by underpaid workers in the Philippines instead of
No
them.
passion. They don't even have like. They just use AI for their support if they don't manage to kill your victims.
Yeah.
It sucks. All right, what about Fornicus, the
What
clearly
does he
dead
do? What does Pinhead
boss?
do? I don't know too much about Hellraiser.
Pinhead.
He's just a torturer
I've
guy.
never seen the movie. Most of what I know from Pinhead comes from playing Dead by Daylight, and in that movie, in that game, he seems to be able to. He like summons hooks, like on chains, that fly at you. He's got like magical shit. His whole deal is he wants to take
Oh
you
yeah, I
to
think it's summoning chains and stuff
and
like that.
yeah, he wants to like torture you until you essentially become like him, like a weird freak
Yeah, he
with
has his like
multiple blades.
entourage. He has his own
Yeah, he's got all
polycule.
his
It's like
weird.
a head
He
to head
does.
polycule. I honestly think
Weird
his
think
polycule
positive.
is winning against the Shaggy Scooby or Fred Daphne Velma polycule.
Oh
And
yeah,
also
I
they're
think
very
he still has
susceptible to
them.
getting tied up. I think Daphne would just
That's
be she would
true.
be poached to that their the pain and bondage one, unfortunately.
I think Kevin and the Sugar Plum Fairy kill all of them except for like one or two.
Yeah. What was the bride again? Did we talk about that?
The bride is only on the board, but she's never shown, or even in the novelization, they never talk. So what she is exactly is completely like not known,
Hmm.
unless you want to make something up.
Oh
She
yeah,
is
she
something
can
like
be
that.
the aunt from Haozu, the Japanese movie.
Yeah. So explain to me. You talked about this earlier, Hausu, this excellent film I need to see.
It's an excellent film. I highly
What
recommend it.
what is
It's
the
very
character?
similar. It's a Japanese like horror movie that's it's almost like a so bad it's good or like just very goofy. But
Negative enjoyment, as I refer to it.
yeah, but I think it's self-aware at least in this case. Um
Okay.
it's about a schoolgirl traveling with her friends to her ailing aunt's country home, and like the aunt is kind of like this sadistic uh character I think that knows what's going on.
Okay.
So maybe she's like a monster house type.
Oh, a monster house
Yeah,
situation.
monster house type situation.
She
Cause
controls. I think that would be very effective. Well,
the bride,
actually,
at
even it
least
would.
in those old times, she would be like the homemaker, right? So maybe there's a connection to the domestic things in the house, and it becomes like a monster house type thing.
So she like basically can control like the house and kill them with stuff from the house,
Yeah.
if that's what we're going. So
So
I
they
think
get
they
the
would do
wolf head
really good
comes to
against her.
life, and like, yeah, you just have to get away from the house. Maybe one or two of them would be bitten by the.
I don't think any of them would die to that because they're so used to being in crazy
That is
places with
true.
like
Crazy places with traps. That's like
crazy
they'd just be like,
secret traps and shit going on. They'd be like,
exactly.
"Oh,
They're like, yeah, another Tuesday.
another wall closing in on me." Yeah, they would.
That's true.
It would get
That's
so
definitely their home
overpowered.
turf. So maybe that one
I
would
think
be
they're
the easiest one.
stomping the bride. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. There's also a bridal gown in the Houseu. Um, I think that
Oh, there
was
you
the
go. There's
ants.
a
So that's
connection.
the connection.
Yeah. Well, I think they could take that one
Yeah.
the
That's
easiest.
probably there. That's like playing in. That's a home field advantage for them.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we're born and raised in wacky houses with doors that lead nowhere and repeating backgrounds. Yeah.
Exactly. They'd see the little highlighted, um, you know, Beauty and the Beast floating chef's knife. You're like, I've seen this one before.
Chandelure trying to set them on fire. I
Jinkies.
think it's messed up that Fred never got like a fun catchphrase.
What is Daphne's?
Jeepers.
Cheapers. Yeah, true.
Jeepers. Do you think those were like pre-existing slang that was just popularized by them, or did they just make that shit up?
I think Zoinks is pretty original. The other ones I think have been said before. Jeepers is pretty general.
Yeah, Jeepers Creepers. That's true.
Like Zoink Scoop. Jinkies might be original too.
Yeah, that sounds like maybe it was like a really dated reference to like a song that was popular in the 70s for
Yeah.
like a month.
Jinkies was also slang used by GIs in World War II to describe those bouncing bombs. You know about those mines that would go off at like,
Bouncing Betties.
yeah.
Oh, interesting. They're called Jinkies. That's funny.
No, they're not. I actually just made that up.
Oh, damn, you got me. Yeah, I literally said what their nickname was. There's no way they would have two nicknames.
I think in the 1940s they did like
Just like
making
Scooby.
funky nicknames for things, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt
Yeah,
there.
we need to bring that back. We need to come up with like a funny name for UAVs. You know, these
Yeah.
acronyms are bumming me out.
Something
We'll call them
cheeky.
like
Just write something cheeky on there in the way that they write on mortar shells in World War II, Easter eggs for
yeah,
Hitler, that kind of thing.
Easter eggs for Hitler. Yeah. Auf Wiedersehen. From now on, UAVs are called.
I think we're punching down so much that there's no fun in writing on it anymore.
Shit. That's some meta commentary right there.
Maybe.
Well, before our podcast, you know, goes too far into geopolitics, we should probably cut
Yeah,
this one.
we probably should. So, all right. So the final score, it's a split decision.
Split decision.
So you decide.
We're leaving it up
You
to
let us know. Would Scooby squeeze that trigger and end the life of his best friend
You know he would.
and become Snack King, or would he usher in a new dark age? Good questions for everyone to ask themselves. And we will leave you, listener, with that question.
And like we say at the end of every one of these episodes,
Bye.